This video is going to show you all of the things that you requested to see on how to add your 2-point city. I'm going to try and get them all into one video, so I'm going to go through them kind of quickly. But what y'all wanted to see was how to do round buildings, triangle buildings, buildings with a hole in it, and then how to add bricks and doors and steps, and then like trees and benches and a river to your city. So first I'm going to show you how to do these 3 different buildings. They're really simple. You always start out with your vanishing points. And with all of these buildings, you will draw a box first, basically. So you'll always start with the basic box. And with these, you want to draw lightly, because you might be erasing, especially for the round building. Okay, so on this building, I'm going to make it look like there's like an opening and a hole going through it. And a lot of these, it's the value and the shading that you add at the end that really makes it look 3D. So once you have your box, you want to draw another, however big you want your hole to be, on whichever side. And again, always line up with your vanishing point. And then I'm making it look like it's going this way. So this is where your letters come in. So you want to connect the corner that you would see in real life. And I'm not going to go all the way because I want to be able to see the background just a little bit. So again, this corner I connected to this vanishing point on the left. And then now I'm going to connect this one to the right. I'm not just going to draw a straight line across. And then I will connect that corner I just made straight up and down, because these are all going to be parallel. So right now it kind of just doesn't really look like a hole yet, but once you start adding your shading, and I'm going to do this pretty quickly just so you can get the idea. But just like with your letters, you're going to make it go dark to light or light to dark, whichever one you want. And then once you get the other sides, it'll start to seem like this part here is this open space, the background. So that's how you do the hole, and it can be any size. It can be big like this. It can be just small, as long as you always line up with the vanishing points. Any line that's not straight up and down. So if you do it below the vanishing point, or the horizon line, you'll connect that bottom corner. Straight down to that vanishing point. And again, this is the part that's the hole right here. Okay, so that's how you draw a hole in your building. Next is triangle building. There's several ways you can do this. I'm just going to show you the way that's easiest for me. Again, start out just like your normal box. Make your building however tall, skinny you want. And then you decide if you want the triangle to be on this side where you see the actual triangle, or if you want it on this side. And this is the part where you just kind of eyeball it. You don't really have to, you don't line it up with the vanishing points. So you can make your triangle like a normal triangle. You can make it really tall and pointy. You can make it kind of low and flat. But once you have the triangle, then you're going to connect that top point to the vanishing point. And then just like with your letters, you're going to do a parallel line to that triangle, so it's the same. So that's your triangle building. And then your round building, again, start out with your box. And this is the one where you want to draw pretty lightly. The reason why you should draw your box first is so you get the right angles to the vanishing point. Because once you have your box, then you're going to round out your edges to make it a round building. Okay, so once you have that, you'll use the top and the bottom that you just drew as a guideline. And you'll round it off, the top and the bottom. And then you erase this extra part. You don't need any more. And then if you have windows, you want to add them now. And again, you'll use your vanishing point still, just for the guidelines, so you have them going in the right direction, both sides. And then again, use these guidelines that you drew and round them out just like you did the top. And as you get towards the middle, it'll be straight. And then down at the bottom, it'll curve the other way. And then you can erase these guidelines. So the reason why I do it like that is because now you have a round building that is in perspective instead of just drawing a cylinder over here like this. That's not in perspective, this is. All right. Next, I'm going to show you how to add a door and steps. So your door, however big you want it, you'll draw the sides of it first. It's a pretty big door. And then however tall you want it is where you'll connect it to the vanishing point. So I want it that tall. And then you can just keep it like that, maybe add a middle, some handles, that's fine. If you want to make it look more 3D, you can make it look like it's going in a little bit before you get to the door, so like a kind of like a porch area. And again, you line that corner up, and this is just like with the holes, drawing the holes. Straight up and down, line it up with the left vanishing point. And then so now this is my door part here. And then this is kind of like that patio area I was telling you about. And again, the shading is what's going to make it look like it's going into the building. Now, when you want to add brick, again, line it up with your vanishing point. And there's a few ways you can do brick. You can do it really, really simply, where you just draw your lines across, always connected to the vanishing point. And then you'll use your ruler straight up and down, and then you'll make a straight line at every other space, like that. So that's your first set of bricks. And then I like to go ahead and just do that one row. Again, every other one. Like that. So you have this row here. And now to make it look like brick, you'll go in between the two that you just made, and you'll make a mark at every other line, starting in the opposite space. And like this. So you can keep it like this. Like I said, this is really simple. Do one more. It's really simple brick. When you add value, you can make kind of like a mid-tone first, all of them the same. You don't want to leave it like that, because now you want to go back and make each brick look like a separate brick. So I'm going to add shading to each individual brick as well. So I'm going to choose one side to be darker, and with brick it's good because they don't all have to be perfect, because usually brick is all different. And again, I'm doing this really fast. You'll spend a little more time on it. I'm just trying to show you how you can shade it. And then you can also use your eraser to make some of them lighter than others. And then maybe make some of them a little bit darker. Because if they're all the same, then it kind of gets boring. So you can do it like that. You can also make it a little bit more complicated. And imagine the grout that's in between every brick. The easiest way for me to draw that is to go ahead and draw it like this, easy way, and then add bricks inside. Using the lines that you have as guidelines. But now I have this space. And again, I'm going to shade each brick kind of the same first. And then I'm going to go back and add darker and lighter values to kind of make them all stand out. And it'll be a little bit different. And then so if you do it this way, you'll still need to remember that grout part that you did. And I like to make it a little bit lighter than my bricks. So that's just a couple ways you can do that shading. And if you choose to do colored pencil, you'll do it the exact same way. You'll just do it in color instead of pencil. So that's how you do brick with value. Also, if you want to add steps, steps are actually pretty easy. Again, always line up with your vanishing point. However far out you want them to be. So that's going to be my bottom step, and then I'm going to make my steps go up here. See, I'll erase this because this is not going to be a see-through brick, see-through steps. Right, and then once you have that, you'll start to draw the edge of the bricks. I'm just going to make mine a two-step, I think. So there's one. Line up those corners that I just made, my vanishing point. And again, just make sure that every line that you're doing, it's not straight up and down, connects to your vanishing point. So then those would be steps, and then you could have, I don't know, like a door here, or whatever your design calls for. And again, shading is what's going to make it really look like a 3D step. Up. All right, and then now, if you want to add a bench, it's going to be the same idea. You draw a box first, always using your vanishing point. So that's going to be the back. And I'm going to draw the seat, the part that you sit down on. Again, always using the vanishing points. So this is the back, that's the seat. And then to draw the legs, come down. And again, you don't want to leave it like this. You want to make it look 3D like the rest of your city. So imagine that these are little boxes in 2-point perspective. Connect to your vanishing point. Come out a little bit. I'm going to make an armrest, I think. And again, this is just your basic shape. Once you get it down, then you can go back and add the details of like the wood plank, if that's what kind of bench you want. But you'll notice that I'm always using either the right or the left vanishing point for all of my lines that are at an angle. Okay, once you have that, then you can erase any lines that you don't need. Start to make it look like a bench. And I make mine made out of the wood planks. Okay, so that's how you would do a bench, and you can do it. I did it big so you can see, but you can make it smaller. All right, trees. Again, if you're making like a row of trees, I like to use the vanishing point as a guide first. So I'm going to make sure my trees don't go over that height. And I want them to be, I don't know, however long. And you don't want to draw a tree like this. You've done all this work to make your buildings look 3D and realistic. You can draw trees that are kind of separated. So you've got here. There's lots of different ways to draw trees. But you want to take this idea hard to see because you can't erase all this. So there's lots of different kind of trees. You can look up trees online to see which kinds you like. And then once again, when you add the shading and the texture, this is where your knowledge of texture will come in handy. Then you can make it look like leaves. And again, I'm doing this really fast. But you want to do the trees at the end. If they're close up, you'll make them bigger. If they're way out in the distance, you'll make them smaller. And then lastly, if you want to add a river, again, use your vanishing point as a guide first. I'm going to make my river just kind of like a small one. And then you can go back and add however you want to make your water look like. Add any like rocks or whatever you want your river to look like. And again, water's not going to be like that. So I'm going to shade it to where some areas are darker and lighter. There's my rock. Horizon. That's how you do a river.